Hi, my name is Tommy Kelly. Hi guys and welcome back. Today is the eating disorder series and I want to focus upon, this will be a three-parter. The first part I'm going to be doing today is about how to talk to someone with an eating disorder. The second part will be what not to say to someone with an eating disorder. And the third part will be, do you have an eating disorder and recovery is possible. So just to get into this, I'll get started right away. I've written all the things down here, so basically what I want to focus upon is basically how to talk to someone with an eating disorder. Like I say, caring with someone with an eating disorder can obviously feel extremely frustrating. Usually family and friends experience conflicting feelings of helplessness, despair, worry, sympathy, anger, or even resentment towards the individual affected. You may feel that you should be able to help because you care for the person who is suffering, but you simply don't know what to say, or perhaps because the person you care about still not ready to acknowledge that they obviously have a problem, because that's something that we all do. We don't realise we've got a problem, we deny it, because the eating disorder thrives in secrecy. But I say, try to talk to someone that you suspect we have an eating disorder can obviously be a daunting prospect, as you well know. Recovery is much more than difficult in an atmosphere of secrecy and denial, and the disorder will obviously not go away by itself. So although talking about it can obviously be difficult, it can often be essential and obviously the first step of recovery. Being able to communicate without being judgmental, that's the most important part. Or arguing is very, very important as well. When you first decide to approach them about your worries and your concerns about their eating disorder, try to prepare yourself for what you're going to say and what you will say. Obviously don't blame them or judge them. Concentrate on their feelings. Stay calm and be prepared for a negative response, because basically they may lash out at you because the eating disorder takes over and it feels as if you start to help them and intervene, that you're taking away their identity. So that's not them, that's the eating disorder speaking. Another thing to do is find a time either when neither of you are feeling angry or upset, and somewhere where you will not feel interrupted. Try to explain that you've noticed the changes in obviously their behaviour, that you're concerned and you want to help. Be honest about your own feelings, encourage the person to be honest about theirs. If the problem is denied, don't feel too disheartened. That's very, very important. You've obviously opened the door for them to speak about it, so that's the most important part. Leave resources around and obviously be patient. They will open up when obviously they feel ready, and when they're able to speak, reassure them that you're here to support them and help them get the professional support that's needed. Sometimes, like I say, it's just helpful to attend appointments if they're worried, to basically support them, and that's the difficult part. Remember, it's not all about the food, which is the most important thing. It's about the mental aspect dealing with eating disorder. It's about the feelings, so don't talk to them about diets and weight loss. Sometimes even simple comments like you look good today, that can be a triggering part and can be interpreted by those who are affected as a criticism of their body and can make them feel as if they're fat. Instead, comment about how much energy they have, what they've achieved, to obviously build up their self-esteem and teach them how to value themselves for who they are and not how they look, which is the most important part. Be careful not to obviously swap the roles with the person who is ill. Don't allow them to start acting as your carer. Supporting your own distress and confusion. It's obviously normal to have these feelings, but you should not allow them to be the individual with eating disorder to be overburdened with your feelings, as it likely will be already contending with guilt and things like that, and other difficult emotions, like I say. It might be helpful to look at a support offered by any kind of network that you have, like Beat in the UK, Men and Boys Eating Disorder Service, National Eating Disorders Awareness, things like that, which allows you to speak to others, obviously in a similar situation to yourself. Like I say, communicating with anyone and not just someone with an eating disorder means being a good listener and trying to understand they obviously may be struggling and what to say. So basically, I've wrote down a few things that I feel that's really helpful at meal times especially. Like I say, meal times can be obviously particularly difficult. Remembering that recovery isn't straightforward. It may feel like sometimes you're taking one step back forward to take 2 steps back. But being there and practical at meal times to minimise anxiety at meal times. So I've wrote down some bullet points. Plan menus with the person affected taking into account the food they might be willing to eat. Number 2, agree who will do the food shopping, and if the sufferer is likely to binge, consider reducing the amount of food kept in the house. Number 3, don't be afraid to ask the sufferer's treatment team for guidelines at meal times. This makes sure the care is obviously continuous. Number 4, try to share food preparation, but if you feel it is inappropriate, politely turn down any offers and ask them to help with setting the table and washing up instead. So basically they still feel as if they're going to be involved. Consider making a meal at time agreement with the whole family, planning in advance approximately what time you will eat, who will be there and what the menu will be so that everybody knows. Agree not to talk about portion sizes, calories, fat. Just be content with what you're eating and don't contend with things like diets and things like that. Allow the individual to take responsibility for their own actions. For example, replacing foods they have binged on or cleaning up any mess that they make. Celebrations sometimes involve a lot of food, as you well know, and can obviously be particularly stressful for anybody with an eating disorder. It might be helpful to find an alternative way to celebrate, such as going for a relaxing walk in their favourite park, or spending the day watching films together, or anything that you can find, art, doing some art or something like that. Make a plan together what you will do so the person affected really struggling at social events that are at meal times. Even when the individual is making progress, like I say, in treatment, returning to your home setting might be as difficult as they're used to the old coping mechanisms that they have, and may feel under pressure to show improvement. Try to provide, like I say, a calm, light atmosphere and ensure that the person knows what you love them and accept them unconditionally, because that's what they really need. Spending time together after meal times, like I say, can obviously help distract them like say they want to binge or they want to over exercise or things like that, or purge or things like that. So try and do things like watch TV, play a board game, do some reading, watch a movie together, like I say, go for a gentle walk or things like that. Like I say, inevitably meal times will be disastrous. Remember that this is an eating disorder you're trying to deal with, so try to remain calm and not engage in arguments or bargaining. Get together later on and talk about your feelings and how you can learn from the situation. Try to reduce the likelihood of these kind of things happening again, so that's what you really want to do. Obviously, if they refuse to stick to a meal plan or time you agree with them, consult with their healthcare professional to decide the best way to obviously tackle it. Each care, like I say, is individual and there is no solution that works for every case. So everybody's very different, like I say. If you feel that their health is in immediate danger, do not hesitate to get in touch with their healthcare professional and your GP and things like that, because that is really important. Like I say, you're not a dietitian or a therapist, and you should not try and take on these roles, but try to enjoy the sufferer's company as much as you can, as you did before, and don't panic about getting things wrong or making the odds blunder, because everybody's likely to do that. You're only human and you're only there to try and help them, and that's what you're doing, so just be there, support them in the best you can and work along with their healthcare team. I hope you have liked this one, guys, and I hope it's been some use. Like I say, the next 2 parts will be next week and the following week, so I'll speak to you all soon and sending you all my love. And remember what this wee guy at the end of the video says. Remember, guys, binge on life, purge negativity and starve guilty feelings. Speak to you all soon and love you so much.